Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 Premium SPG that we know and love as VP La Pew Pew. You might know it's a leFH or a leaf blower. This one's located on the north spawn of Mountain Pass, and it's under the command of Oksydor. And yes, 3 marks of excellence on the barrel. You don't see that from many VP players. And of course the Polish flag, because of course he's Polish. Game on. Well, yes, he's done just about everything, not just on the EU server, but also on the NA server as well, where he's now achieving marks of excellence which you could not believe. Anyway, let's have a look at this game. Now, he's got a 105mm light field howitzer capable of doing 410 alpha, 53mm pen, standard reload 8.90 seconds. Now, he's got a reload Oksydor of 7.22, so he's fast. And you can see he's loaded 48 rounds of HE and a couple of rounds of heat, just in case he has a close encounter with someone. Okay, well, we did see a few things get knocked over, and the enemy suddenly come into sight. And we've got a SU-14-1, and that one does get some splash. The Stug is taking damage, and that is the G version, G, which is the more desirable ones, you could say. And he's wiped him out with 1 round through the top. So that must have been a penetrating shot to get that much damage. Okay, we've got a 14 TP over there. They're fairly easy to pen because, of course, it's a very light tank, 14 tons. And he's penned him 366 hit points. And another strike. Now, does he get the kill? No, he doesn't. The guy must have moved out the way immediately. Now, you can see that Stug is on our team is actually AFK, I think. But we've got a bit of a problem because the enemy is actually coming up from the south. Now, it's easier for him to fire over the top of the rock and down into the valley down there. Now, it has changed a bit since they've done the rework for the map, but it actually makes it easier for you to get hits with Arty now because, yes, tanks tend to stay still to take shots. And when they do stay still, that's when they get hit. See, like that BDR? He didn't keep moving as much, and he took a shell. Same's happened to that T1 Heavy. Now he can get another shot in. If he can track him, he can damage him. He's just tracked him and damaged him again. So he's not moving very far. And he's now down to 14 hit points. He'll be going out of the game very shortly, but we do have a bit of a problem, and that's that the enemy is approaching the cap from the ice road, so he's knocked down a few of the bushes and the trees to give himself a little bit of cover to shoot through. And in the meantime, our T-67's found the Panzer III J, and he's highlighting him for us. No, haven't got a shot from that angle. The enemy's kind of boxing us in here, and he's knocking a few more trees over here so he can give it shots from a different angle. Okay, that's better. Now, aim for the wall. Not there, just a little bit over. That's it. Close. Very close. Now, the Type T-34 has made a bit of a mistake there. He's gone out ahead, and he's going to take a round now. Oh! Well, it wasn't him who took the round, it was the Panzer III J, and he got completely wiped out. The shell meant for the Type T-34 killed him, but we've lost our T-67 to their Panzer Selbstfeuerwaffe, and now the Type T-34 has taken a hit. We're dialing in as fast as we can, firing blind now because we've got nobody spotting except maybe that Stug B who's AFK. Because even though he's AFK, he will still be spotting up to a certain range. And now we can see them. Okay, so we pull back. In fact, actually, we just took a round in the tracks from the Type T-34. Let it settle. Let it dial in. Perfect. Right onto the side for 150. Now, that BDR G1B is firing shells in, but he doesn't know where we are. The Type T-34 is dead. That's our 4th kill. Now we can take out this Panzer Seb. He goes down with one shot, penetrating straight through him. The BDR next. Now he might want to start loading the heat rounds now, because this thing is difficult to get through the armor from the front. So he's aiming on the move as the guy's coming towards us. Oh, he's hit us with one round. So he knows where we are now. And we hit him with another round, but now he's getting persistent hits. So we've changed our position just slightly and angled ourselves so that the shells are bouncing off. He's still firing, even though he was taking rounds. He's now down to his last few hit points. And that BDR is very badly damaged. Now, can he get a kill shot? Oh! One of our teammates shot him in the rear. And now we've got enemy tanks coming in from the south. The M10 RBFM trying to get past our KV-1. 4 left on either team. We've got virtually no hit points left. Oh, and now we've lost the KV-1, which means that the M10 can come around the corner very, very shortly. There's only 3 left on our team, facing 4 of the enemy. Okay, there's the M10. Hit him. Yes, he got a big hit. Now he's going after each of these one by one, but we've just lost our Stug. Fire another one blind, but that misses altogether. And now we're the last one left on our team. We're going for the Hetzer. We do get the round in, but didn't get a hit. And then we go for the M10. He fired blind and killed the M10. The enemy can't see us. That's our top gun. And here comes the Hetzer, and he wipes him out with one round. But sadly, the VK3001H gets the kill. And that is the end of the game. Well, that was a valiant defeat by Oksydor of OLIMP in the 105 leFH18B2. He managed to get an ace tanker out of that game, as well as a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in this game. He managed to get 23. He got a Gauze medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle, as well as a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game. And on top of that, he got a top gun as well for getting at least 6 kills. His win rate in that game was 12,457, which is super unicum and a lot more. But sadly, he couldn't kill the one tank that was still there at the end, the VK3001H. He got the kill shot, and unfortunately, we went out the game at that point. But he nearly did it, because he did take down the M10, the Hetzer, in quick succession with successive shells. But he just couldn't take out that VK. And the enemy Fifi, well, he was somewhere else on the battlefield. He hadn't moved up. Although he was a good player, he just wasn't in on the end game, so to speak. But we can see that the highest damage did go to Oksydor. 3,238 hit points of damage went to him. The second highest damage in the game went to the enemy PP, 1,789. And the third highest damage was the M10 RBFM that he killed just before the end of the game. He got 1,022. When it came to kills, Oksydor got the highest on that as well. 7 kills to him. 4 kills went to the enemy PP and to the M10, yet again. And 3 kills went to the KV-1 on our own team. And when it came to base XP, well, even though we lost the game, we still came top on base XP, and that's normally unheard of. It's normally the enemy team that wins on XP as well, because, of course, they've won the game, but you get a boost because you won the game. But here we've got 827 base experience points went to Oksydor, and the highest the enemy could get was their M10 RBFM. As you saw, he got wiped out right at the end of the game. 780 base XP, 762 went to the enemy Fifi, and after that 700 went to the Stug 3. So you can see Oksydor completely overwhelmed them. He is such a good Arty player. He's a real expert, an ace, and he's the sort of guy that if you want to see a really good Arty game, either watch What Arty Noobs, or you could go to Klaus Kellerman's channel, because he's now featuring Arty as well, and he's enjoying it. I think he's getting the hang of it. He thinks it's fun. It is fun. Arty is fun. It's also incredibly skillful. even when you get a player like Oksydor, he can sometimes lose if you're completely overwhelmed by the enemy and you've tried your hardest, almost under, you might say, Kolobanov conditions, but you still lose. But if you put up a good fight, that's great. Arty players don't suicide. They don't need to. They just play as well as they can, get as much damage on the enemy as they can, and then the fellow players can actually see that they are good because they are trying to win for the team. Those players who actually suicide, most of the time, they're not real Arty players. They're not the dedicated guys who would fight to the bitter end. No, they're the guys who are like tank drivers. They want to deny you the extra hit points, and we don't want to deny you those. We want you to fight for them. We'll fight you for it. We'll take the credits off you if we can. And if we do go down fighting, at least it's a good way. It's we'll use our last shell on you, or we'll ram you, or something to make it all the better. But good Arty players fight like this, fight tenaciously to win. And this is a great game. Just shows how much we can do. He fired 30 rounds, so he still had 20 rounds spare at the end of that game. He got 20 direct hits on the enemy and 5 penetrating shots, 21 splash, damage of 3,238 hit points, of which 2,303 were at more than 300 meters. So you can see it around about, well, just under 900 hit points of damage actually done at close range. 6 hits received from the enemy, 4 of them penetrated, 2 non-penetrations. Those are the ones that hit the tracks. 195 hit points of damage blocked by armor. He damaged 10 of the enemy, killed 7, and did 29 hit points of damage assistance in the game. And on a premium count, he earned 46,103 credits profit, and he also picked up 2,701 experience points altogether. I couldn't leave you with just this game because it was such a good one. Oksydor sent us in another one, so we're now going to watch a second replay of Oksydor in action. The second replay is in the SU-14-1, the Tier 7 Soviet. It's located on the south spawn of Fisherman's Bay, and the game is underway. Well, it seems that a lot of them are using the same colour scheme. Okay. Now, the SU-14-1 is a Tier 7 Soviet SPG. Used to be the S-51 in the game, but they've now put that in the Collector's tab. Now, the SU-14-1 did exist. It was actually built during 1935. It was tested, modified in 1936, but then it was mothballed. They actually put it in storage, and it didn't see any further action, of course, until the war started, and then of course it did come into use and they started modifying it again. Now, it's got a 152mm howitzer if he's got the stock gun, and he has. That's got good fire rate, 600 alpha, 38mm pen, and a 7.2 meter burst radius. Now, it is a big, heavy Arty. Of course, it uses the hull of a heavy tank, the T-35. So if you're in a light tank, you don't want to ram one of these because you will come off worse because it's a heavy tank in disguise. There are quite a few Artys that are built from heavy tanks. Not advisable to try and ram them if you do. Now, it's not particularly fast, only 30 kilometers an hour maximum speed, but again, remember, it's a heavy tank. It's actually got cranes and derricks at the back to lift up the shells onto the body of the vehicle. The artillery piece is mounted on top of the hull, and oh, that's a good one on the TS-54. And it's actually beneath the underneath the hull is the engines. And in fact, in order to fire this Arty, they had to actually disconnect the suspension. Otherwise, it would actually bust the suspension every time they fired. The recoil would literally break the vehicle. Now, you can use the 203mm B4 howitzer if you want, but of course you'd have to first research that. And the other thing is it does have a longer reload, but it does give you more damage, so you can get as much as 900 alpha from that shell. That TS-54 is taking an enormous risk poking out the way it's doing like that, because Yes, I think we can lift the shell over the top of the building into the TS-54. Trying to get it shot now on the Chieftain P. Prototype rounds out. Yes, he got some splash there for 27. Now the key with a lot of Artys is to try and maximize the damage you get. And the way you do that is actually to keep pumping the shells out as fast as you can on the enemy tanks that are confronting your guys. And the Chieftain P's just gone down. The kill shot went to the M6Y. You can see our team are flooding through the east side of the map, through the town, and the enemy has actually managed to get a long way south on the west side, and we are looking in that general direction, or thinking about it. M2Y. It's a tier 9 game with tier 7 tanks. Direct hit right on the side, 207, and he got stun assist as well. Now he's going to move towards the town. The M12, the other Arty on our team, is down there as well. And the good reason for doing that, because now there's nothing except a Scorpion between us and the enemy on the west side of the map. But I think the enemy is now more worried about what might happen at the other end of the map, and so they might actually travel north. I think they're already starting to redeploy, because if they don't, we'll seize their cap. Has another direct hit on the engine bay on the T28. That's 290. Again, non-penetrating shot. He's telling the Scorpion that he's behind and he's helping. The Scorpion's just watching over the field and making sure they don't move any further south. We can see the enemy tanks over here. Oh, we just got a blind hit. I think it was the T28 prototype, but it might have been the Barask. He certainly hit somebody. Now, we do know the Lorraine 15550 is somewhere in that vicinity. You can see it's a flight time of 2.5 seconds between where we are, right on the south edge of the map, and the enemy. And now the enemy is starting to move towards us. So we're going to try and take a shot at that AT7. They just lost their Scorpion, Skoda rubber. Oh, that one fell short. But it has stunned the AT7. He's taking damage, so we're getting stun assist. 760. Very likely to get a ace tanker off this game, because he's got 2,831 stun assist already. And the enemy's being really pressured. They've only got 4 left. 2 Arty, 1 medium tank and 1 tank destroyer. Rounds out the Iron Army, and he takes a direct hit on the Bustle. Okay, they've lost one of their Arty now. Our Barask is going after the Iron Army. It was bounced over those rocks. And the T28 prototype is now the last enemy alive. We're loaded. Lining up, rounds out. And it's a direct hit for 204. I think this is going to be a win now for sure. He's only got 162. He's going to go down. He's tracked. And he's about to die. And the kill shot goes to the M6Y. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for Oksydor of OLIMP in the SU-14-1. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In this one, he managed to get 5 exactly, as well as a Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on your team. And if you keep pumping those shells out as quickly as you can, that means you're definitely like to hit more enemy tanks than anyone else on your team. And if you do get the Confederate, it boosts your score up, because even if your team loses, then you stand a chance of getting a medal, or at least getting the Achievements Award, or Courageous was it the Achievements Award, or Courageous Resistance as they call it, which means you will get extra credit. So it's definitely worth doing that. Just keep pumping those shells out. And again, you stand much more chance of getting an ace tank, or at least a high mastery as well. Now, this actual battle took place on the NA server. So this is the second time that Oksydor has been working his way up to 3 marks of excellence on this Arty. He only got a win rate of 1,583, but he got a huge amount of stun assists. In this game, he didn't get much actual damage. He was just trying to stun the enemy and let his teammates then do all the necessary to take them out of the game. And in fact, that's one of the best ways that Arty can help their fellow tanks on their own team, is to stun the enemy and make it much easier for their teammates in the tanks to get the kill shots that make the difference. You see, then the Arty picks up the stun assist, the tanks get the kills, you get the medals for getting an award, and we get the stun assist and the mastery ranks, and that keeps us happy, and in fact everybody's happy, and you get good wins that way. Let's have a look at team score. On this game, we can see that Oksydor didn't get a whole lot of damage, to 1,233. The highest damage in the game turned out to be the Skoda T56 on his team with 2,297. Second highest damage was the M6Y, who got the last kill of the game. He got 2,285, so only a small amount below, well, in fact 12 hit points less. And the third highest in the game turned out to be the Barask, who was bouncing over the ridgelines high speed. He got 2,275 hit points, so another 10 points less, and he got that next highest. When it came to kills, we can see the highest scores in the game with the M6Y with 4 kills. 2 kills went to the Barask, the BZ68, the T-34-1, and on the enemy team, only one tank managed to get more than 1 kill, and that was Skoda T56. And we can see the Oksydor didn't get any kills at all, but look at the stun assist. Yep, he got a very high base XP with 1,284. He was the only one to get over 1,000 base in the game. The next highest being the Barask with 985, because of course he was tier 8 in a tier 9 game. And the next one after that was the other Barask with 930. And again, because he was doing a lot of damage and he was a tier 8 in a tier 9 game. He fired 12 rounds. There's a decent amount of ammunition expended, and he got the shells in the right space to do stun, and then allowed his teammates to then do the rest. They took the guys out. 6 direct hits, but no penetrations at all. 12 splashes, 1,233 hit points of damage, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damaged 80 the enemy, killed none, but 3,751 hit points of stun assist off 12 stuns. And that's how you get the ace masteries, kiddies. That's how you do it. On a premium count, he earned 67,434 credits from that game. And he also took away 5,778 experience points. To be a good Arty player, you need dedication, you need patience, you need to study your game incredibly well. Arty is not an easy game to play. You have to be able to predict what the enemy is going to be doing and lay the shell in the path of the enemy, even if they're moving about. You're firing over incredible distances, and you're having to understand what the enemy is up to, so that you can then hit them, and hit them before they hit your teammates, or to hit them so your teammates can hit them and get the end result. So you can see it's not an easy game to play, but a good Arty player can win battles. As you saw in this one, Oksydor was right at the top of the table when it came to base XP. He may not have got a lot of damage. He may not have got any kills in this one, but boy, did he pick up a big result for his team. So I hope you enjoyed both of those replays. Yes, we are going to be trying to do more videos where you get 2 replays in one, because of course it's fun watching really good Arty players play well, and we've got a couple coming up. We've got battles with the FB304. We've got battles with an FB3805 coming up very shortly, and a couple of those from Clicker, who has now been featured more than once on Klaus Kellerman's channel. So please do watch, and I think you'll enjoy. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.